how I get that mud on that ground. I'm gonna make a delivery for a brand new garage slab. I'm gonna show you a little bit how the controls work and how a concrete truck actually functions. I'm also gonna show you how the contractors do their thing in the garage, actually laying down the mud and making it look nice and pretty. So if you like trucks, construction, concrete, or watching videos on YouTube, you're in the right place. And the video starts now. We just got loaded with 10 yards, so that's basically a full load. We're going to a new neighborhood up here in West Richland. It's not too far away. We'll pour some concrete. It looks like a slab. They wanted a 5-inch slump. Speed the drum up a little bit. Slump is how you measure the consistency of concrete. Basically, the higher the number, the wetter it is. 4 is kind of like oatmeal, where you can mold it and it sort of stays put and it doesn't flow. And a 6 is about like a milkshake. It flows. You can pour it. It's a lot easier to work with. So if they're doing some kind of flat work, like a garage or a slab of some kind, or sidewalk, you know, that sort of stuff, usually they want it pretty wet. Normally a 5, 6, sometimes a 7 or 8, depending on what you're doing. And if you're doing a, come on man, if you're doing a curb or a foundation or something with large gaps in your forms, you don't want the mud to flow out. Usually it'll be about a 4 or a 3. So anyway, they ordered a 5. 10 yards total, so it's just me. There's no other trucks going to the job site. And as you can see, there's still snow on the ground. Been there for a few days, so it kind of threw a wrench in the works yesterday. A lot of the jobs had to cancel, but I think they spent yesterday getting the job sites ready to pour, so it seems like everybody's going today. So we'll see exactly what we got when we get there. It should take about 10 or 15 minutes to get there. It's not too far. When you go up a hill, because on the inside of the drum is fins that look like a giant corkscrew. Where it turns one direction, it pushes everything forward, the drum spins the other way, and it pushes everything out. But when you go up a hill, the back of the drum is open, water bottle with no lid on it. And if you have really wet mud, it'll spill out the back if you go up a really steep hill. So keeping the RPMs high and spinning the drum faster, it helps keep everything forward in the drum instead of pouring out the back. Usually it's only a problem if you have a really full wet load and or a really steep hill. Sometimes if the hill is steep enough, you're better off just backing up it. So if you come around the corner and you see some unholy steep hill, sometimes we back up and flip around and just very slowly back up the hill. Not exactly sure which house we're at. These guys look like they're waiting for me. Pointed back behind us, so I'm gonna get out and see what they're doing back there. Well, we're doing a garage, but the way all these vehicles are lined up on the side of the road, it's gonna be easier if we back in from the other side, so I'm just turning around. from back there because the chutes won't reach all the way back. So we have to blast it, where you basically just spit everything out real fast so it flows a little farther than the chutes will reach. And when I do that, I like to be outside with them, because you're spitting out so much mud that if you miss a hand signal, it can really mess things up. So I like to be out there with them so they can just, you know, look at me or give me a quick stop, or, you know, something where I can stop the mud from flowing really quick if they need me to. So now we're just, it's called tailgating, when the finishers are in the back moving the chute around, and they just tell you what they need you to do. Start the drum, stop the drum, go forward, raise the chute, lower the chute, back up, that kind of thing. So we put out a bunch of mud on the ground, and they sort of smooth it out with their rakes as best they can. And they have chalk lines and stakes. Chalk lines go all the way around the outside of the garage, and they have stakes in the middle with nails sticking through them that indicate the same level as the chalk line, just in the middle. So they go around with their hand floats and they smooth out the edges to the level that they need, all around the outside and around each stake. And then they go back with it's usually a 2x4 of some kind. It's called screeding. And basically they put the 2x4 each end up against something they've already leveled out. They've already flattened out the edges and the stakes, and then they just scoop it towards the edge of the garage, so it makes everything in the middle even with everything they've already leveled out around the edges. And once they're done screeding, they do little sections at a time, that way they don't have to move a whole bunch of mud. And once they're done screeding, they come by with a float. It's usually a bowl float or something like that, and smooth everything out one more time. And what they're doing is they're pushing all the sand and the rocks and the aggregate, they're pushing all of the solid stuff down a little bit when they use the float, so that all that nice cream comes to the top. And so when they're done, you can't see any of the rocks or the sand. All you can see is that nice cream. And after they float it with the bowl float, usually they just leave it until it's just about cured enough that they can walk on it without sinking in, and then they start finishing it. They start smoothing it out. And when they're done, the entire garage will be like glass, smooth as glass. It's pretty cool. Alright, so these guys are all good. I'm gonna raise the chute up so it doesn't hit anything. Get up over that curb. Now where'd my chute go? Oh, it's right in the middle. Try not to hit the minivan. Oh, good, he's back there. Alright. I got enough. Thanks. gonna look for a spot to rinse off my chutes. I don't really want to rinse down right next to these houses that are already done. Some people get a little finicky. I'll just come over here, this is fine. I usually try to stay near active construction. You know, I don't want to be between two houses that are already done. Just because I feel like sometimes people might get a little upset about it. Gonna back and hit the curb. There it is. I'll just wash out here, this is fine. So all I'm gonna do is rinse out the mud that's on my chute and on the outside of the truck and clean it up as best as I can. And then we'll head out.